to win the way he won, to win the popular vote, to win decisively in the Electoral College, to have what appears to be, at least potentially, lining up to be a clean sweep of the battleground states. Look, Democrats spent more money than Donald Trump on this race. Democrats thought they had more enthusiasm than Donald Trump. They were proven to be wrong on that score. This was something I was talking to Democrats in the final days of this campaign who believed that they had a chance, that Kamala Harris had a chance to basically run the table on the battleground states. They thought that something had fundamentally changed in the race. This is what we were told. I know Mary heard the same thing, and it just wasn't there.
Was a few points, 3 or so points, off of Joe Biden's.
So she did worse among women than Joe Biden?
Yep.
I mean, that's an astounding.
Those are the final exit poll numbers, or are we going to have final numbers?
Oh, they'll be tweaking it well into the morning.
Yeah, well into the morning.
She did 2 points worse than Joe Biden did in 2020 with the female voters.
Yeah, if that holds, that is really, really.
We do have a
Carry on.
Here's the call of the night. We can project now that Pennsylvania, the biggest battleground prize of the night, will go to former President Donald Trump. ABC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the 19 electoral votes in the state of Pennsylvania. We had said for many weeks leading up to this election that this was a must-win state for both Kamala Harris and for Donald Trump. ABC News now projecting Donald Trump wins the state of Pennsylvania. That essentially gets him the presidency, although we have not called what he absolutely needs to get there.
Chips are falling
into place in so many words here.
That's exactly right. I mean, Alaska,
very strong likelihood that he will win not only the Electoral College, but also the popular vote.
And that's really going to matter, John Carl, to the former president.
I mean, absolutely.
It's beyond even talking about pathways to 270. 270 is within his grasp. It would be beyond shocking for him not to receive 270 electoral votes. I can't really fathom a situation where all of those things would fall into place for Vice President Harris. He's knocking at the door, and it's kind of opened it already.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the numbers coming in and making sure there's absolutely not a possibility any other way before our decision desk, and we really appreciate their great care. We would do this no matter what campaign it was, and this is what election nights are in America, and we're used to that. I do want to, and there you have it. Kamala Harris, 218, Donald Trump, 266, though, as Rick Klein mentions, we see where the math will come from that will put him over 270. We're just waiting for the official projection.
And then to win the way he won, to win the popular vote, to win decisively in the Electoral College, to have what appears to be, at least potentially, lining up to be a clean sweep of the battleground states. Look, Democrats spent more money than Donald Trump on this race. Democrats thought they had more enthusiasm than Donald Trump. They were proven to be wrong on that score. This was something I was talking to Democrats in the final days of this campaign who believed that they had a chance, that Kamala Harris had a chance to basically run the table on the battleground states. They thought that something had fundamentally changed in the race. This is what we were told. I know Mary heard the same thing, and it just wasn't there. Donald Trump won, and won decisively. We're waiting for our final call. But what we've called so far, it's astounding.
Anything more from the Harris campaign
anything
tonight?
They are notable.
Wow, wow, wow. So they finally are looking at some of the, numbers, the polling exit polls, and they're showing that Trump is winning with women. And the guy just basically says, that's amazing. 2 points. So this is initial data that's coming out. And they're absolutely gobsmacked. Remember Martha Raddatz? Women are angry because Martha Raddatz is an angry woman. She's also a lying sack of crap. She's a faux journalist. She lies by obfuscation. She lies with a mission. And she just plainly lies. And she's a bitter, old woman. There's nothing else to say. She's a bitter clinger. And she's a never Trumper. She's got Trump derangement syndrome. Remember in 2016, her meltdown then? She's a liar. We all know that. But this is so beautiful, folks, because they thought that the abortion issue was something that was there, that women, young, middle-aged, old, whatever, were going to come out in droves and save Kamala Harris's you-know-what. And it was going to be women power, feminism. Yes. It was all going to cascade down on top of the Trump campaign, like a huge, gigantic waterfall, dousing all their hopes and dreams. And you know what ended happening, folks? That waterfall ended up to be maybe a few drips. In the end, there was no waterfall because there was no water other than the tears from the collective tears of all the Kamala Harris supporters. Now that is something precious to behold. And then they finally what? They finally called PA, which they could have done probably around 9:30ish, 10 o'clock by the latest. They could have called the Blue Walls and Arizona and Nevada. They could have done that, but they didn't want to do that. But anyways, folks, you're watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasser. We're going to get back to more of the Alternative Broadcasting Corporation meltdown, the Anything But Conservative ABC with all their co-hosts. So grab some popcorn, grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, and enjoy, folks, the continued meltdown on election night of ABC.
And silence speaks volumes, I think, at this hour. We do know that she is going to come out and speak tomorrow. The remarks that she had planned to give tonight were postponed. She'll be there speaking, we believe, at Howard University tomorrow. I just keep thinking about the picture that they had been painting of Donald Trump in the last days and weeks, this really dire picture. You know, calling him unfit, saying that he simply doesn't represent and stand for the ideals of this country. Kamala Harris called Donald Trump a fascist.
All lies.
And she continued to argue over and over again that she could bring the country forward, that she could turn the page. And it turns out that the country did want to turn the page. They just wanted to turn the page on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's administration.
Not only did they want to turn the page, they just wanted to basically do what? Shut the book. That's what they wanted to do. Forget about turning the page. They just basically wanted to shut the book and nobody read it anymore.
And what a remarkable, different vision we are now getting from this election. You know, elections tell you a lot about what the country stands for and what the country wants, and it is just such a drastically different vision from the one that Kamala Harris was outlining.
And some surprising
Actually,
numbers,
had a conversation
given the polling.
with the president after 2020, and he was obviously upset about the outcome of the election. And I was talking to him, and I told him, look, I know it would have been better just to win, but if you could write the chapter in your book, there would be nothing more Trumpy than for you to lose, run again and win. You couldn't possibly think of a better ending to this story.
But you wouldn't have written the January 6th thing into the chapter.
The January 6th.
Sprint to a finish line that didn't
Idiot
end,
Carl.
The way she was
Moron.
hoping. Where are we headed next? Mark Burstein in the control room? You want to talk us through?
There was nobody in the control room. He has no clue what to do. What an idiot.
Give us the pathways here, Rick.
David Muir, what a moron.
2024 on ABC. Here again, David Muir.
Welcome back now, 6 minutes past 5 o'clock here in the East on this Wednesday morning after election night in America.
God,
we are
did they
very much
string
looking
this
at
out.
Donald Trump set to be the president-elect. We have not projected as a network officially. Obviously, the math is very much in his favor. It's
because
looking
we're politically
increasingly,
retarded at this
mathematically
network.
impossible for Kamala Harris to catch up here, but we're being super careful with our decision desk.
You're being super
making sure,
moronic.
that everything has been checked before we're willing to project.
Stand by, Rick. We're
As
just
you
going to pause here to project.
And we
Finally!
can project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, the key battleground state of Wisconsin. It's 10 electoral votes. I believe
9 hours later,
makes Donald Trump now. ABC News can project that the former president, Donald Trump, 47th president of the United States. That takes him to 276. Still states on the map to be counted, not since Grover or Cleveland tonight. It's now become a reality. Again, the breaking news at 5:31 here in the East. Former President Donald Trump, ABC News now projecting, will be the next
Breaking
president
news,
of the
my
United
ass.
States.
He didn't
And part of the
break
path,
anything.
that he built along the electoral map is this blue wall that the Democrats were convinced would be Kamala Harris's best route to the presidency.
Losers!
Donald Trump winning Pennsylvania, and now he has won Wisconsin. He won North Carolina and Georgia, and a number of other battlegrounds are still being counted where he holds leads. Significant.
At this point, this is just an unbelievable comeback, the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States.
You think?
And this is a victory unlike his 2016 victory, certainly unlike his loss in 2020. Donald Trump
didn't
not
lose.
only
It was
wins
rigged. We all
the
know
Electoral
that.
College, but it looks like he has a very good chance of winning the popular vote. He comes back to the White House, rising like a phoenix from the ashes after having left in disgrace, twice impeached, facing multiple indictments, convictions here in New York.
Nobody gave a
And,
shit except you guys.
He captures the White House in a way that he didn't even do the first time, and with the strength of a significant majority in the United States
Biden,
Senate as well.
His decision to bow out after that horrible debate performance in June was a decision that should have been made earlier, that would have perhaps given the Democratic Party more time to do some sort of primary.
Here comes all the backbiting, folks.
Or would have given Kamala Harris more time. However it turned
Here
out,
it
or whoever
comes.
the Democratic Party chose or people voted for, perhaps that would have given them more than 107 days,
The
which is all she
acrimony.
had to introduce herself as a candidate at the top of the ticket.
There's certainly going to
Now
be
they're
a
gonna
lot
tell
of
the truth.
discussions and deep soul searching, I think, within the Democratic Party about how this all unfolded, and a lot of deep questions for the president about the way he went out of this race, the timing of this. Could the outcome have been different if Democrats had had time for a primary, for instance? But Kamala Harris, in those 107 days, really cast herself as the change candidate. That is hard to do when you are the sitting vice president. And when you look back at how things could have been different, I think we have been discussing this all night long and into the wee hours here. The fact that she wasn't able to really differentiate herself enough from the president to say
She
to
was a
Americans
nothing
who
burger.
are suffering economically that what she would do differently, and to really put a fine point.
Well, folks, they're beginning. They're beginning. It's starting. The eating of their own. Just starting to begin here, folks, in these clips. And as we all know, there's no better party that eats their own than the Democrats and the liberals and the progressive acolytes and the news media and Hollywood and academia. They all sit at the same buffet table. You know what? And the knives are out. And I'll tell you what, if you're sitting at that table, you better not turn your back, because you never know what might get stuck in it. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Put your comments on below. Let us know what you think. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, y'all take care and stay safe.